Supplementary Angles, Lesson 5.1, Part C. Standard is 8G5. The objective today is to identify relationships of angles formed by two parallel lines cut by a transversal. The essential question is, how can algebraic concepts be applied to geometry? Supplementary angles. These are angles that are in a straight line together. They add up to 180 degrees. To find a missing angle measure, subtract the ones you know on the line together from 180 degrees. Angle A plus angle B plus angle C equals 180 degrees. List sets of supplementary angles for the figure below. Now remember, supplementary means angles added together that equal 180 degrees. So the first set is going to be D and E. The second one is going to be F and G. Then I have K and J. Then I have I and H. Then I have D and K. Then I have F and I. Then I have E and J. And the last one is G and H. Now if I add each of those angle sets together, I will form 180 degrees, which are supplementary angles. List sets of supplementary angles for the figure below. Now remember, supplementary means angles added together that equal 180 degrees. Now in this case, instead of adding two angles together, we're going to add three angles together. So the first set is going to be 1, 2, and 3. The next one is going to be 6, 5, and 4. The next set is going to be 2, 3, and 4. The next set is going to be 1, 6, and 5. The next set is going to be 2, 1, and 6. And the last set is going to be 3, 4, and 5. Now if I take any of those angle sets and I add them together, they will equal 180 degrees. List sets of supplementary angles for the figure below. Now in this figure, I only have one set of supplementary angles, and they are Y and Z. And that's because they form a straight line, which equals 180 degrees when added together. Example 1. Find the missing measure in the figure. I notice that these angles are supplementary angles, and when I add them together, that will give me 180 degrees. So first I'm going to take 60, and I'm going to take 45, and I'm going to add them together. That's going to give me 105 degrees. Now I'm going to take 180, and I'm going to subtract 105 degrees. When I subtract, I'm going to end up with 75 degrees. So the missing angle is 75 degrees. Example 2. Find the missing measure in the figure. I notice that these angles are supplementary angles, and supplementary angles add up to 180 degrees. So the supplementary angle for 71 degrees is angle T, so I need to find angle T. So I'm going to take 180 degrees, I'm going to subtract 71 degrees. When I subtract, I'm left with 109 degrees. So angle T is 109 degrees. Now I need to find angle V. So I'm going to go ahead and take 180 degrees. I'm going to subtract 52. So 180 minus 52 gives me 128 degrees. So angle V is 128 degrees. Example 3. Find the missing measure in the figure. I notice that these angles are supplementary angles, and supplementary angles, when added together, equal 180 degrees. So I see a right angle here, and a right angle is 90 degrees. So I'm going to take 180 degrees, and I'm going to subtract 90. When I subtract, my answer becomes 90 degrees. So the missing angle is 90 degrees. Example 4. Find the missing measures in the figure. I notice that angle 48, 65, and angle A forms a straight line. And when I add them all together, it equals 180 degrees. That means that they are supplementary angles. I am going to find angle A, so I'm going to add 65 degrees plus 48 degrees. When I add those together, that's going to give me 113 degrees. Now I'm going to take 180 degrees and I'm going to subtract 113 degrees. When I subtract those, I'm going to get 67 degrees. That means that angle A is 67 degrees. In order to find angle B, angle C, and angle D, all I have to do is find the vertical angles, because remember, vertical angles are congruent. So the vertical angle for angle B is 48, so angle B is 48 degrees. The vertical angle for angle C is 65, so angle C is 65 degrees. The vertical angle for angle D is angle A, which is 67 degrees, so angle D is 67 degrees. Example 5. Find the missing measure in the figure. I notice that these angles are supplementary angles, and the reason why is because they form a straight line. So when I add these two angles together, it's going to give me 180 degrees. So I'm going to go ahead and write 180 degrees. I'm going to subtract 124 degrees. When I subtract, my answer is going to be 56 degrees. So the missing angle is 56 degrees. Example 6. Solve for x. I notice that these angles are supplementary angles because they form a straight line. And that means when I add them together, they equal 180 degrees. Now I'm going to write an equation. 115 plus 2x plus 25 will equal 180 degrees, because two supplementary angles added together will give me 180 degrees. Now I'm going to combine like terms. 115 plus 25 will give me 140. Then I'm going to bring everything else down. Now I'm going to subtract 140 from both sides. Now I'm going to bring down 2x equals 180 minus 140. That will give me 40. Now I'm going to divide by 2 on both sides. This will cancel out, and x will equal 20. Example 7. Solve for x. I notice that these angles form a straight line. That means they are supplementary angles. And when I add them together, that means they equal 180 degrees. Now I'm going to write an equation so I can solve for x. So I have 70 plus 3x minus 40 will equal 180 degrees, because these are two supplementary angles. Now I'm going to combine like terms. 70 minus 40 will give me 30. I'm going to bring everything else down. Then I'm going to subtract 30 from both sides. This will cancel out. I'm going to bring down 3x. 180 minus 30 will give me 150. Now I'm going to divide by 3 on both sides. This will cancel out, and x equals 50.